era cannot be compressed in a column. A legacy cannot be reduced to words. Yes, Atal Bihari Vajpayee was Prime Minister of India 3 times. For 13 days in 1996, for 13 months from 1998 to 1999, and then from 1999 to 2004. He was an excellent parliamentarian of exceptional caliber. So here in this video, we will compare India under both the political leaders, Atal Bihari Vajpayee and Narendra Modi. First, Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Number 1. He took a courageous and strategically vital decision in May 1998 to make India a nuclear power and conducted nuclear tests despite the opposition of several world powers. Under his leadership, India successfully overcome sanctions imposed by certain superpowers.
Vajpayee ji was responsible for transforming India a nuclear weapon state.
परीक्षण के साथ हमने ये भी ऐलान किया कि हम परमाणु हथियारों का प्रयोग करने में पहल नहीं करेंगे.
Number 2. He made earnest efforts to normalize relations with Pakistan, beginning with his historic bus yatra to Lahore in February 1999. However, when Pakistan betrayed his trust, India's armed forces, under his resolute leadership, defeated Pakistan in Kargil War in 1999.
बलिदानों में, उद्यानों में, वीरानों में, अपमानों में, सम्मानों में, उन्नत मस्तक, उभरा सीना, पीड़ाओं में पलना होगा.
Number 3. His government undertook the most comprehensive review of the system of managing India's national security, both external and internal security, and initiated corrective measures. Under the NDA regime, for the first time, a separate border management department was established, and a defense intelligence unit was created. Number 4. He made sincere and successful efforts to marginalize militancy in Jammu and Kashmir and bring back peace in the state. Under his leadership of the central government, free and fair elections were held in J&K for the first time after many decades. Number 5. He unveiled the National Highway Development Project to construct world-class highways in India, connecting the 4 metros, Golden Quadrilateral, and also the 4 corners of this country through the north-south and east-west corridors. Number 6. His government took bold steps to build digital connectivity in this country, a reform-oriented telecom sector and IT policies which boosted mobile and internet services in India and also helped make India a software superpower. Number 7. His government started the Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, which is India's flagship program for achieving universal elementary education. Number 8. Under his leadership, India promoted friendship and cooperation with all the major blocs and nations of the world, especially in the immediate neighborhood. India's relation with the USA and other Western nations became deeper and broader. Our traditional friendly relations with Russia became stronger. Besides promoting mutually beneficial economic ties between India and China, his government also initiated a structured mechanism for high-level dialogue to resolve the border dispute between these two countries. Besides elevating India's relations with Japan to a strategic level, he gave a new impetus to build closer ties with countries in Southeast Asia and East Asia. Besides all these, Atal Bihari Vajpayee government at the center needs to be credited for creation of new departments like Ministry of Tribal Affairs, Department of Northeast Region, and converting the Social Welfare Ministry into the Ministry of Social Justice. Let's talk about some good things Modi government has done. And now, Prime Minister Modi. Number 1. Road construction is faster than it was earlier. There has been a change in method of counting road length, but it seems faster even you factor that in. Number 2. Electricity connections increased. All villages electrified and people getting electricity for more hours. The country achieved yet another milestone in power sector with completion of electrification in 100% households in 25 states at the end of the year 2019. Similarly, the number of hours people get electricity has increased ever since independence, but it might be larger increase during BJP. Number 3. The Swachh Bharat mission is a definite success. Now, I'm not sure about more toilets built than before, but Swachhta is something embedded in people's mind now. Number 5. Ujjwala Yojana is a great initiative, but we don't see many people buy the second cylinder. The first one and a stove were free, but now people need to pay for it. The cost of the cylinder has almost doubled since the government took over, and new one costs more than 800 rupees.
आप लोगों को क्या क्या सुविधाएं मिली हैं?
हम लोगों को कहे नहीं मिला, कुछ नहीं मिला यार। न चूल्हा मिला, न का नाम है जैसे लैट्रिन के मिला, और न कोई आवास मिला, कुछ नहीं मिला।
Now coming to demonetization, it failed. It actually failed. But worse is the BJP's inability to accept that it failed. All propaganda of it, cutting terror funding, reducing black cash, eliminating corruption, is just absurd. And it killed business also.
जीएसटी कभी सफल नहीं हो सकता। और
मेरी सरकार का मंत्र है रिफॉर्म, परफॉर्म, ट्रांसफॉर्म। 1 जुलाई से भारत में गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज टैक्स लागू किया गया है। इससे भारत में वन नेशन, वन टैक्स, वन मार्केट का 1 दशक पुराना जो सपना चल रहा था वो आज साकार हो चुका है। और मैं जीएसटी को गुड एंड सिंपल टैक्स कहता हूं।
Failure of schemes and failure to acknowledge. Sansad Adarsh Gram Yojana, Make in India, Skill Development, Fasal Bima, failure to acknowledge unemployment and farmer crisis. Calling every real issue is an opposition stunt. Failure to engage with the most important basic issues, education and healthcare. There is nothing on education, which is nation's biggest failure. There is nothing on healthcare for 4 years. And then Ayushman Bharat was announced. That scheme scares me more than anything being done. Now coming to the ugly part, the real native of this government is how it has affected the national discourse with a well-considered strategy. Well, this is not a failure, it's a plan. 1. It has discredited the media, so now every criticism is brushed off. And as a journalist who didn't get paid by BJP or on the payroll of Congress, I know several journalists for whom the allegation cannot be true. But more importantly, no one ever addresses the accusation or complaint. They just attack the person raising the issue or ignore the issue itself. Number 2. It has peddled a narrative that nothing happened in India in 70 years. This is patently false and mentality is harmful to the nation. Now this government spent over 4,000 crore of our taxpayer money on advertisements, and now that will become the trend. Do small works and huge branding. He's not the first one to build roads. Some of the best roads we have travelled on were pet projects of Mayawati and Akhilesh Yadav. India became an IT powerhouse from the 90s, and it is easy to measure past performance and take credits of past leaders based on the circumstances today. Just one example of that. Why did not Congress build toilets in 70 years? They could not even do something so basic. This argument sounds logical, right? Yes, and I believed it too, until I started reading India's history. So when we gained independence in 1947, we are an extremely poor country. We did not have the resources for even basic infrastructure and no capital. So to counteract this, PM Nehru went down to the socialist path and created PSUs. We had no capacity to build steel, so with the help of Russians, the heavy engineering corporation Ranchi was set up that made machines to make steel in India. Without this, we would have no steel and consequently no infrastructure. That was the agenda. Basic industries and infra. We had frequent droughts. हर 2-3 साल में अकाल तो पड़ती ही थी. And people starved to death, a large number of people. The priority was to feed the people, and toilets were a luxury that no one cared for. The Green Revolution happened and the food shortages disappeared by the 1990s. Now we have a surplus problem. Toilets were a luxury at some point of time. Maybe things could have happened sooner, maybe 10-15 years ago. But nothing happened in 70 years is a horrible lie to peddle. Number 3. The spread and reliance on fake news. There is some anti-BJP fake news too, but the pro-BJP and anti-opposition fake news outstrips that by miles in numbers and in reach. Some of it is supporters, but a lot of it comes from the party. It is often hateful and polarizing, which makes it even worse. The online news portals backed by the government are damaging society more than we know. नंबर 4. हिंदू खतरे में है. तो कैसा लगा आपको? They have ingrained it into the minds of people that Hindu and Hinduism are in danger. And Modi is the only option to save ourselves. In reality, Hindus have been living the same lives much before than this government. And nothing has changed except people's mindset. Were the Hindus are in danger in 2007? At least I didn't hear about it every day. And I see no improvement in the condition of Hindus. Just more hatred. Speak against the government and you are anti-national. And more recently, anti-Hindu. Well, legitimate criticism of the government is shut up with this labeling. Prove your nationalism. Sing Bande Mataram everywhere. Even though BJP leaders don't know the words themselves, they will force you to sing it. I just want to say, I am a proud nationalist and my nationalism won't allow me to let anyone force me to showcase it. I will sing the national anthem and the national song with pride when the occasion calls for it or when I feel like it. But I won't let anyone force me to sing it based on their whims. Number 6. Running news channels that are owned by BJP leaders whose sole job is to debate Hindu-Muslim, national-anti-national, India-Pakistan and derail the public discourse from issues and logic into polarizing emotions. You all know exactly which ones, and you all even know the debaters who are being rewarded for spewing this kind of propaganda. So that's it for today, and if you like this video, please hit a like button and subscribe my channel.